are the absolute cornerstone of most runners' regular programs, and although the length of the actual run can vary massively, what I do know is that staying in my own head for a prolonged period of time can be quite a scary prospect. So if you're anything like I am, you're gonna need some solutions, some ways to spice it all up, keep it a little interesting, and keep those joy levels at 11 out of 10, obviously.
Oh, look at this. We're in Chatuchak Park in the middle of Bangkok, and it's our long run day, Saturday morning. We're aiming for 17 kilometres. Temperature's all right, right?
I think it's pretty hot and sticky actually now I'm going.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel all right, but this is what we're going to do for you today because we're finding the need for it as well. On your long runs, when you get to a point when you're doing it quite regularly, they can get quite difficult. I don't want to say boring, but they can be difficult, and we want to give you 5 tips to spice up your long runs, to keep them interesting whilst you're doing them and to challenge you along the way. And we're going to do it out here in Chatuchak Park, but there's about 5 or 6 laps to run, right? So we're going to try and give you 1 tip per lap, and also we've done something very stupid. Like, we've signed up to possibly the hardest thing we've ever done. Well, what did you think was the stupid thing?
I'm on the wrong side.
Oh, is that what you thought was the stupid thing?
Well, I was just thinking about that.
Okay, let's get running. So you're probably wondering what harebrained scheme we've signed up for, considering we've run ultra marathons, done iron distance triathlons, and all of those didn't really scare us. This one scares us, but it's a good thing. We've signed up for a trail race in Thailand. Mary's doing the 30k, I'm doing the 50k, and right now it's way beyond our comfort zone, but we've got to practice what we preach on the channel, right?
Yeah.
The first way to keep long runs interesting is to play around, is to have fun, and I mean with your paces and with your heart rates, because there's plenty of bandwidth in a long run in terms of what your zone 2 heart rate is. For example, you know, I could run anywhere between low 140s to 164 and still be in zone 2 because those are my zones. So you could play around with paces or heart rate, maybe play a game where every other kilometre you try and hit a certain pace that you determine. So for example, now we maybe decide to hit a 5-minute kilometre and see how close we can get to that without looking at our watch. Just play some games.
Yeah.
Just keeps you in the game, keeps it a bit interesting.
Yeah. Mixing it up. Oh! While we stop for a gel, it's time for tip 2. I'm going to sit down. 10k in, but that makes me think of 10k races, 5k races, and I guess what you could think about doing is injecting a race into the middle of your long run. So sometimes I suggest people go and do a park run within their 10-15 kilometre run, or I've even suggested when people are on their really long runs, when they're getting up to 25-30 kilometres for a marathon, sometimes they book a half marathon and they do a 5k warm up towards it and then 3k cool down afterwards. So the options are there that you can add in races or different runs within your long run just to spice it up a little bit, and it does make it far more interesting.
And this is such a simple one, but sometimes it just needs saying because so many of us runners are creatures of habit in terms of when we run and where. And I get it, sometimes it's about necessity, but if you're able, switching the time of day or the terrain that you run on can keep it fresh. Sometimes trail, sometimes road, sometimes morning, sometimes evening. This simply means you keep your body guessing and you prevent the runs feeling too stale. And I absolutely credit this approach with getting me through my iron distance training block.
And my penultimate tip, probably my favourite, is play some games with your pacing that might even take you out of your heart rate zone too. So this is possibly for more experienced runners, but you can give it a go. And this is a 3 for, by the way, 3 ideas. So sub tip A, we're labelling them 1, 2, 3, 4, so this has to be A, right?
Yeah.
Sub tip A is just good race procedure, just good race practice, is to practice something we call a negative split, which is basically running the first half of your run slower than your second half, only marginally, and you should be trying to do that in races as well, and that's called a negative split, and it's just good practice. Keep something in the tank for later, which a lot of people don't do. Go again. Everybody stops for the national anthem on the morning. Sub tip 2, if you're not yet in a place where you can negative split or you're not getting it right just yet, then you can always do this, and it's called fastest mile last or fastest last kilometre, depending on whether you're running kilometres or miles. What's that, Mare?
It's where you basically make your last mile or kilometre the fastest one of your whole session. So you're just practicing leaving something in the tank, but also finishing strong.
She's going to tell me off when I stop filming because I caught her out, but at least you were concentrating.
Should we do that now?
What is it, the fastest last kilometre?
Yeah.
Okay, well we'll do it now then. And while we're on our fastest last kilometre, sub tip D is hotspots, and that's for more experienced runners, or maybe you have a particular marathon pace in mind that you want to run per kilometre or mile. And let's say I was running a 15-kilometre run today. What I would do is add 3 hotspots of marathon pace in at maybe kilometre 3, kilometre 7 and kilometre 12. I would dial it up because my long run pace is slightly different to my marathon pace, and so I add hotspots in, and it just keeps your body guessing, and it trains your body to get good at knowing what your actual goal race pace is. And it doesn't have to be for marathon, it can be for half marathon, 10k, or even 5k if you're looking to spice it up quite significantly, which we're not.
You can also do one longer hotspot in the middle, can't you?
Yeah, almost like add a tempo into it.
Yeah.
So you can play around. I don't know, they're not always called hotspots, that's what we call them. What's this last K?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I got 4:28.
Can't even remember, and I just looked at it. 4:28, I think, as well.
Must be.
Yeah. Well done.
You too.
And that felt nice because obviously we saved something in the tank.
Yeah. It's good to finish on a high mentally.
Yeah, put the button on it, we call it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget one other thing. This is the final tip, is make sure that you treat yourself. Wherever you are running, you could factor in a stop at the end, maybe a cafe stop, a restaurant stop, meet a friend, treat yourself, have something as an end product that is nice. I mean, we're not proud of this because, you know, we want to support the local chains as well, but a Starbucks coffee is huge and we do love it. And I know that our neighbours are going to be watching this and cringing, but sorry guys, we are coffee sluts. And if you remember, we used to car chat and have our coffee and our caramel shortbread after every long run. That was our reward and it's what we looked forward to. Now we need to get home and actually have breakfast. So because we missed it, we're bringing back without caramel slice, which is sad.
Sad times.
Sad times.
But we did manage to have an ice cream.
We did actually have an ice cream. We're sharing everything now, are we? We're eating a lot of ice creams.
One a week.
Yeah, maybe more. Anyway, we've gone off track already. We want to talk about long runs and them being the cornerstone of any good training routine, whether it be 5, 10, 15, 20k, half marathon, marathon, whatever. You know, you get the idea, right? Long runs are the cornerstone, but they can become very difficult the longer that you go.
Yeah, it can be quite a mental battle knowing you've got to go out for a super long run.
Yeah, and I find every athlete's different. Some athletes really love just having a long run. They don't need anything like what we've given you today. They don't need any tips. They will happily go and crunch a 30k long run, no problems. But some people do, and that's all individual, isn't it? I don't tend to need anything, but at times it would be nice, I guess. Like, I could add those things in, but...
Yeah, I think especially if you've got no choice but to do it on your own, it's quite good to add something in to help it out, because a lot of people like doing them in groups. But if you are going alone, maybe these strategies will help to spice it up.
And I didn't even say that as a tip, but go with someone else, because it makes the time really pass a lot quicker,
if you're just chatting.
Yeah, well, we don't really chat, do we, anymore? Just crunch it out.
Telling all our secrets.
Well, you shared about the ice cream.
No, you're saying we don't talk anymore.
We never talk in our run. No, we do talk, of course we do, but it gets hot, so you have to really concentrate on just not crying most of the run. Anyway, long run done. We're really happy, and I hope some of those tips helped you. And if you've got your own tips that maybe I haven't mentioned, then put them in the comments, because we're always looking for even more, and people in the community would benefit reading the comments and going, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Definitely, and because we've got to increase our long runs again, anything fresh, any new ideas would be really well received.
It's a bit warm. Oh my goodness me, that's so nice. Had to open the windows because it was just getting roasting in here like an oven. Let's talk about the race that we've signed up to. Speaking of ovens, this is, and I am not understating this, this is the race that scares me most of any race I've ever signed up to. Genuinely. 50 kilometers. Are you trying not to yawn again?
Sorry.
50 kilometers on the Thai trails in the Thai heat. And I've only ever run over a marathon one time.
I don't think I'm as scared as you, but I'm doing the 30. I'm probably being foolish.
It's only 12 weeks away. The key here is we will be sharing everything in training for the half marathon and 10k that we're training for, then the half marathon, then the big boy. Everything that we can think of that might help you or inspire you to go and do your own journey. If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough, and I am terrified by this race.
Also, I need to now buy loads of trail
gear.
So if you've got any recommendations, let me know.
Thought for a video, trail gear. Thanks, John Whitten, my buddy John, who's over here. He's the one that signed up for the 50k, and I couldn't not once he had. So really appreciate it, John. Thanks.
You should thank yourself, because you pushed me into the 30k, so I had to return the favour.
That's true. Mary wanted to do the 10k, and I said, no, you've got to do the 30, you've got to push yourself. And then I realised my mistake once she'd signed up for the 30, and I was like, should I do the 30 or the 50? And Mary was like, well, you just made me sign up for the 30.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to do the 50.
You gave you a taste of your own medicine.
You really did. 12 weeks, ultra marathon, 30k trail race, gonna be brutal, but gonna make a hell of a video. It's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait. So as always, thanks for being part of this. Thanks for being part of the journey. Thanks for letting us be part of your journey. We'll see you Wednesday for episode 6 of our 9-week training plan to 10k and half marathon.
Have a good one. No, peace out. Keep on grinding. What do we say?
Are you just trying things?
Yeah.
And they're all staying in.
No.
They are. All of this is staying in.
Bye then.
Bye.